Okay, guys, today we are going to multiply fractions by whole numbers. Okay, now when you have a whole number, what you can do, 3/4, just put a 1 underneath the whole number. Okay, now one thing you can do is, since there's a 4 as the denominator here and a 4 as the numerator here, you can cancel the 4's out. Okay, which would leave you 3/1, which is actually what? 3 whole. So 3/4 times 4 would be 30. Okay, let's do a different one. Okay, what if we have 5/7 times 8? So make it 5/7 times 8/1. Okay, nothing on top and bottom can cancel out, can they? Okay, so we're just going to multiply our numerators. 5 times 8 is 40, and 7 times 1 is 7. Okay, what type of fraction is this? When a numerator is larger than your denominator. It's an improper fraction. So we have to turn improper fractions into mixed numbers. So how we do that, we go 7 goes into 40 how many times? 5 times, 7 times 5 is 35 with 5 left over. So 5 is going to be your whole number. Your numerator is your remainder over top of 7. So 5 5/7 would be your answer. Okay, let's look at another one. 8/9 times 18. I want you to try this one on your own. I'm going to give you a minute to do it, and then we'll go over it. Okay, so let's look at it. 8/9 stays as 8/9. What did we say can go underneath the 18 to turn it into a fraction? 1. Okay, can 9 go into 18? Is 9 a factor of 18? Yes, so we can, 9 divided by 9 is 1. 18 divided by 9 is 2. So now we multiply across. 8 times 2 is 16 over 1, which would equal 16 as your answer. Okay, let's do one more. Let's see, 5/8 times 7. Now you try this one, and I'll give you time. Okay, so let's look at it. 5/8 times 7/1. Now 8 and 7, nothing can go into 8 and 7 except 1. 1's the only common factor. So we just have to multiply across. 5 times 7 is 35. 8 times 1 is 8. Okay, now what type of fraction did we just say this was? An improper fraction. When the numerator is larger than your denominator, it's called an improper fraction. So to make that into a mixed number, we have to, or to convert it to a mixed number, we have to divide the denominator into your numerator. 8 goes into 35 4 times, which is 32, with 3 left over. So your quotient, your answer, is your whole number. Your remainder is your numerator over top of your denominator that stays the same. So 4 3/8 would be your answer. Okay, now I have another one for you to try. 6/15 multiplied by 5/12. 6/15 multiplied by 5/12. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to do this problem. Okay, let's look at it. Can 6 go into 12? 6 is a factor of 12. So 6 goes into 6 one time. 6 goes into 12 two times. Okay, what about the 5 and the 15? 5 goes into 5 one time. 5 goes into 15 3 times. So 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 2 is 6. So 1/6. Okay, so now 6/15 multiplied by 5/12. If you do not cancel, 6 times 5 is 30. Now we have to do 15 multiplied by 12. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. Placeholder, 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. So 1, 8. So now, they both end in 10, so we can divide it by 10. 30 divided by 10 is 3. 180 divided by 10 is 18. Well, still, look at this, 3/18. What can go into 3 and 18? 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 18 divided by 3 is 6, so 1/6. Notice, guys, which one would be easier? This way here is what I want you to try to get used to doing. It will save you so much time. And a lot of times people will reduce it here and leave it as 3/18 and still not get the whole problem correct because you didn't know to reduce it on down, to factor it on down. Okay? So my advice to you is to try to get in the habit of canceling within the problem if it's possible. Sometimes it's not possible to cancel within the problem. Okay, here's another problem I want you to try. 4/7 multiplied by 2/6. 4/7 multiplied by 2/6. Okay, let's look at this one a little bit. This one, 4 can't go into 6, can it? You cannot multiply, you cannot cancel a numerator to a numerator. You can't cancel a denominator to a denominator. It has to be one numerator and one denominator. Okay, so 4 can go into 6. But what can go into 4 and 6? They're both even numbers, so 2 can go into both of them. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Okay? So now 2 times 2 is 4. 7 times 3 is 21. Nothing else. 1, 2, and 4 is factors, and they can't go into 21, so it's in simplest form. Now, 4 sevenths times 2 sixths. 4 times 2 is 8. 7 times 6 is 42. What can go into 8 and 42? They're both even numbers. So if we divide it by 2, 8 divided by 2 is 4. 42 divided by 2, 2 goes into 4 2 times, 2 goes into 1 time. So 420 over 21. So are they the same? Same answers, okay? It's just if you don't cancel within the problem, you have to reduce at the end. And here, you notice here we divided it by 2. That's what we did to the 4 and the 6 up here, is divided by 2. Sometimes it's easier to see it in smaller numbers than it is to see it in larger numbers. Okay? Okay, I have one more problem I want you to try. 5 6 multiplied by 5 sevenths. And I'll give you a minute to do it. Okay, so 5 6 multiplied by 5 sevenths. Okay, can 5 and 7, can anything go into 5 and 7 except 1? Can anything go into 5 and 6 except 1? Okay, so nothing can go into them. So this time there's no way you can cancel within the problem. So now we multiply the numerators. 5 times 5 is 25. 6 times 7 is 42. Okay, so it can't be reduced either because 1, 5, and 25 is all that can go into 25, and they can't go into 42. So this 24 over 42 would be your answer. Okay, so just keep in mind, when you are multiplying fractions, if you can reduce, my advice to you is to start canceling within the problem, because it makes it easier and it keeps you from dealing with larger numbers in your answer to where you have to reduce at the end. Okay.